Welcome to the Curious Conversation Collaborative, a community for purpose-seeking entrepreneurs, leaders, and changemakers.
Listen to inspiring conversations with your hosts, inner leadership mentor Tessa and Karen and business wealth coach Karen Ravel.
Hi Karen, how are you?
Oh, hi Tessa. I'm okay. Bit frantic, bit busy, but feel like I'm in need of a break.
So, well, perfect timing, so right? Because actually, for everyone listening, it's obviously summer, and in most countries, I'd say by now it's the summer holiday or winter holiday. Apologize if you're on the other side of the world.
Yes, exactly.
And so we have been kind of thinking actually of like, what do we do in the next few weeks? It's now the end of July, so there's still the whole month of August. And we first considered whether we should also take a summer break from the Curious Conversations. And then we thought, well, this being such a weird year or weird summer anyway, or weird winter, a weird time anyway, with Corona kind of in most places kind of dying down a little bit, and not all everywhere, unfortunately. A lot of people actually going on holidays again because a lot of countries are opening their borders, but then a lot of people staying home. So after having a little chat, we decided we won't go on a full break, but for the month of August, we just slow it down a little bit. So there will be only 2 episodes in August, and they will be special episodes, and you will hear, if you're listening, you will hear next week what it is. But today we just thought we actually talk about that, about summer alignment or holiday alignment, taking a break, taking a pause.
Yeah, and I think it's really important that everyone, and you know, it's always important to take regular breaks from your business, from your work, whatever, and really totally recharge. But I think this year, with the pandemic that's hit the world, you know, it's affected people in different ways. Some people have carried on working and they've been fine. Others have had to pivot their business. Others have had full-time jobs and they might be at home. Some people, unfortunately, are losing their jobs, but it's a time for them to rethink about their future. But the fact that so much change has happened in such a short period of time that it has undoubtedly, or it will undoubtedly take or have an impact on everyone. And again, that impact will be in different ways. But I think it's really important for people to recognise that even if they felt fine about it in the beginning, it might start to be taking its toll in some way. Yeah. You know, I know a lot of people have had to be at home with children when they should have been at school, or like I say, you know, what they're worried about, whether they've got a job or, you know, is their business sustainable? Can, you know, if they worked in person with people, now things are starting to open up a little bit more. Can they go back and do that? Is there a risk with that? So all of this stuff takes up mental, emotional, and therefore physical energy. And so it is important to think about having a break. But however, I appreciate that not everyone can have a break as well. So this is why I think we're saying it's just important to slow down a little bit.
But also I think it's the break, like, you know, it's nearly also realizing the pattern you have gone in, if you like, nearly. Like, you know, I think we talked about this before, about the importance of having a routine and structure, but at the same time, I think a pause or a break is also kind of just for a short period of time, kind of breaking that structure so that it doesn't become some sort of autopilot habit. if you like, that to look at it again. It also gives you that time of kind of looking at like, hey, what is working, what's not, right? I mean, you kind of need that, as you said, it's re-energizing, it's just really revitalizing yourself again. But it also is that by taking a break, when you go back to your routine, you see what was actually where there might have been actually some friction, where you ended up just doing something for the sake of it. Even what we were just taking, it was like, oh yeah, we need to do next week's episodes. We do need to, and then we were like, oh, wait a minute, what's going to happen if we skip 1 week? Right? Like, what does really happen then? So I think it's also a good way of reflecting, that way, really reflecting on your routine, if you like.
Yeah. And I think for us, I mean, you know, we've made this decision to through the rest of the summer to switch to releasing these fortnightly, just to slow things down a little bit. And then, you know, in September, the chances are we will pick it up again, but again, we can have that review then, and that should be the same for everyone else. It's like, you know, nothing is forever. You can make decisions now to back off a little bit if you need to, and just, like you say, just replenish your energy and your vitality, especially if you are going back very soon to something that's going to be quite full on, because, you know, things have changed and you've had to stop what you were doing, and that or you've got to do things in different ways. It's all going to take a lot more effort and energy in the future. So therefore, having a bit of a break or a bit of a slowdown now is a good thing.
Yeah, and I think an element of that, for me anyway, when we talked about this, like, I hadn't considered even the taking a break, because you know, the past couple of weeks and months had been so weird, in the sense that on the one hand, I've kept going, and I actually worked quite a bit on, but a lot of that on my business and also on my own development. I did a lot of courses and other things, but I also felt, because a lot of the things that normally happened weren't happening, it nearly already felt like a break. So there was also a tiny bit of feeling guilty of like, what do you mean taking a break? Because I feel already like, you know, there were certain things that I normally would be doing that I hadn't, that weren't being done. So it was also, and I think for some people, like obviously for a lot of people it was different, where from a lot of people that work from home, I heard as well this kind of feeling as, especially if there were jobs where there was more freedom and more flexibility because of working from home, that they nearly felt, oh yeah, but I've already been sitting in the garden in between and I've taken more time. So there's also that bit of just that, to see that there is a difference though between having a shift in your routine and maybe having here and there a little bit more spare time or more flexibility to decide how you spend the time or divide the time, that's still different from an actual break. So I think that's also the good thing to know. And I really like what you were saying about it also being slowing down, so that it's not just about whether you have an actual full holiday or not, or a really complete break of several weeks of not doing whatever you normally do, but even that, if you do keep doing what you're doing, to just make it a little bit slower for a month or so. And I think for those of us who live in the summer countries, that even that going slower, I know that like, the last week actually has been quite cold here, but now the temperatures are picking up. And I noticed like when it's actually really warm, I need that little bit slower as well. That I notice I can't have the same go energy as that when it's a little bit colder.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to find that rhythm, and nature is a great teacher of that. You know, it's like springtime can be kind of full on and growth and, you know, everything moving forward and new things happening. But whether you're in the summer, like you say, when it gets really hot, everyone, you know, creatures, everything kind of just slows down for a little bit. But obviously there are some people in the southern hemisphere as well, where this is winter and this is actually a time for retreat and renewal. So whichever area you're in, I think it is just time for a little bit of pause and reflection, or just slowing down,
Yeah.
and before you speed up again, before you kind of move into either that springtime of growth or that harvest time of reaping what the seeds you've sown already. But give yourself permission, I think is what we're saying, is to just take it a little bit easy, or go a little bit easy on yourself.
Yeah, and so saying that, I think that's a really nice kind of note to finish up on. And I think so we'll be doing that for ourselves as well. And also now, obviously, for those of you who have been listening weekly, if you are actually missing our weekly episode, we would love to hear that, of course. And otherwise, we hope you just enjoying either the sunshine, the nice weather, or if you're on the other side of the world, maybe your reflection time and your growth time. But we will be back. We are not going anywhere. And so keep letting us know what you think of this, if anything arises from you, for you. And we look forward to seeing you at the next episode.
Thank you for listening. Did you enjoy this episode? Do share your thoughts and questions in the comments, or send us a message.
Do you know someone else who'd be interested in our curious conversations? Please share and spread the word. You can find out more about us at karenravel.com
and tessavankeken.com. Tune in next week for another curious conversation.